x and y intercepts. So standard form of a linear equation is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are just numbers. So for example, it could be 3x minus 9y equals 15. So that's one example that I could have of a standard form linear equation. An x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. So wherever that line crosses your horizontal x-axis, that is an x-intercept, because it's where the line is being intercepted by, or is intercepting, the x-axis. Kind of like if you throw an interception in football, or if you catch an interception in football, you're crossing paths with the football. An x-intercept is where you cross paths with the x-axis. So for example, I could have an x-intercept right here. That's the point where my line crosses the x-axis. And I could cross the x-axis at a lot of different points. I could cross anywhere on this x-axis. So I could cross at, let's say, -3, 0, or -1, 0, or I could cross at 2, 0, or I could cross at 4, 0. But what do you notice about all of those points? All those ordered pairs? What's the same in every ordered pair? The 0 in the y-coordinate. So if you're crossing the x-axis, if you're down here on my graph, you didn't go any up or down. Your y value is 0 every time. So if I want to find an x-intercept, what I'm going to have to do is set the y equal to 0. So I'll get some number, comma 0. And my y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, now if I'm crossing the y-axis, I could be anywhere up or down. It could be anywhere. You can't see any of those. Here we go. You could be anywhere on the y-axis, but you didn't go any left or right. So your coordinates, oh goodness, gotta write the correct number there. There we go. 0, -2, 0, -4. The number that never changes in the y-intercept, the x is 0. So you'd have 0, comma something. Now your y value, of course, can change. All those y values are different, but the x's will never change. So if I want to solve for the x-intercept, I'm going to set the y value equal to 0. So I would say 3x plus 4, but instead of y, I'm going to put a 0 equals 12. And I can simplify. 3x, 4 times 0 is 0. So if I want to do 4 times 0 is 0, I really don't need that anymore. And I can do, where did I put my, there you go. 3x equals 12. And I can solve by dividing by 3. X equals 4. So my ordered pair, x was 4, and I set y equal to 0. All right, let's try another one. If I want to find the y-intercept, if I want to find y, I'm going to set x equal to 0. So I do 3, but instead of x, I would put a 0 plus 4y equals 12. And I can simplify this. 3 times 0 is 0. I get 4y equals 12. Or y equals 3. So my x-intercept, let me erase some of this extra stuff. I'm going to erase a lot of that work. You can always unpause or pause the video and go back and look at all that work later on if you'd like to. My y-intercept would be 0, positive 3. So I'd put a point at 0, positive 3 and positive 4, 0. And now I've got 2 points. I can make a line by connecting my x-intercept and my y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my x-intercept, find my y-intercept, and then I will connect those 2 points to make a line. So let's find our x-intercept first again. To find the x-intercept, I will set the y, instead of writing y, I will set that y equal to 0. Well, 2 times 0 is 0. I get 5x equals negative 30. And then I can divide by 5, and x would be negative 6. So my x-intercept is negative 6, 0. To find my y-intercept, I'm going to set x equal to 0. So 5 times, but instead of x, I'll put a 0, minus 2y equals negative 30. Well, 5 times 0 is 0. I get negative 2y equals negative 30. And then if I divide, I should get negative divided by negative is a positive 15. So I would get 0 for x and a positive 15 for the y-coordinate. All right. Why don't you try pausing the video, find your x-intercept by substituting 0 for y, find your y-intercept by substituting 0 for x, and then unpause to check your work when you're done. Okay, so to find the x-intercept, I'll set y equal to 0, but 12 times 0 is 0. Negative 8x equals 24. X equals negative 3. So my x-intercept is 0, x-intercept is negative 3, 0. Y-intercept, negative 8, set the x equal to 0. You get 12y equals 24, or y equals 2. So you'd get 0 for x, 2 for y. And then here your x-intercept should be 2, 0, and your y-intercept should be 0, 4. And when I graph these, I can't really graph the ones on number 4, but I can graph negative 3, 0, and 0, 2. On number 6, I can graph the point 2, 0 and the point 0, 4 on number 7. And if I want to make my line, my linear function, I just need to graph or connect. So I got to connect those two coordinates, and I'd have my lines. So that's how I would find the x and y intercepts of my linear functions, and then I would plot those 2 points and just connect them to make a graph, to make a linear graph. Check out some other videos online. I will share those on the Google Classroom page, so you can check them out there. Look at the completed notes, and please look at the review answer key on Thursday when it's posted after school. I will see you soon.